guys, welcome to my very first video where I will be sharing general information about property that you guys might be interested in. So previously, I put a poll on my Instagram asking if you would be interested to know more about the differences between BTO and resale. So in today's video, I will be sharing more about some of the factors that you will want to consider when you're comparing between these two. A short introduction about myself. I am Zara from ERA. I'm a property agent and I'm 24 years old this year. So I do have a lot of friends who are asking me what choice should they make when it comes to their housing. And this is where you will not want to miss this video. So let's go! So I'm sure a lot of you have had this question pop up in your head before. 到底 should I BTO or should I resale? Well, prior to this pandemic, I'm sure that BTO will be a no-brainer answer for most of you. But now, COVID-19! What used to be a 3 to 4 years waiting time have extended to excruciating long wait of 5 to 6, some even up to 7 years. To understand more about the current BTO market, I'll be taking the latest launch, Telok Blangah, as an example. These are the articles. It's crazy, right? You have to wait up to 2027 before you can collect your keys to your BTO. On top of that, for a 4-room flat, the starting price is 602,000 eh. You have to vie with 27 other people just for one unit. With the same price of 602,000, you can move into a resale home without having to wait for years and years and years, and also possibly not having to renovate your home from scratch. But don't get me wrong, I am not implying that resale is definitely better than BTO. When we are comparing between these two, there are a few factors that we should consider before making a decision. The first factor will be time. Do you actually have the time to wait for 5 to 7 years before moving into your first home? Now here's the food for thought. If you are 28 years old this year and in 6 years time you will be 34 years old, and also HDB has a regulation whereby you have to fulfill a minimum occupation period of 5 years before you can sell it and move into your next home. So if you take 34 plus 5, by the time you can sell your very first home, you will already be 39, close to 40 years old. Whereas if your friend of the same age this year has decided to get a resale instead, by the time you can collect your keys to your BTO, they will have already fulfilled the minimum occupation period of 5 years and they will be ready to offload and move on to the next property. The second factor will be financials. Do you have the financial capability and stability to start funding for your home already? Simply because you will have to start paying your monthly installment for your house the moment you get your keys to it. For the case of resale, it will be about 3 to 6 months, whereas for BTO, you can still spare a few more years before you have to start taking on this responsibility of funding for your home. Last but not least, the third factor will be your future housing plans. Do you have plans to upgrade or move after staying in your home for a few years? Well, I'm asking this question because based on the MAS rule, the maximum loan tenure that one can get is either up to 65 years old or 30 years, whichever is shorter. Which means to get a maximum loan tenure of 30 years, the latest that you can get a loan by will be 35 years old. Referring to the food for thought questions in the time factor, does your plan tallies with the timeline? So if you had gotten the BTO at 28 years old, you will only be able to offload your house at 39 years old, whereas if you chose a resale, you will be able to offload it at 34 years old. But of course, this is an assumption if you are 28 years old. So you might be younger, you might be older, and you can just play around with the numbers. To top it all, of course, these are just a few factors on top of the many other factors that we have to take into consideration before we can make a decision. Everybody has their own specific property plan designed according to their needs and timeline. So, if you would like a more in-depth and thorough breakdown when you're comparing between these two, feel free to give me a call or you can just let me know and I'll just slide into your DM. This is the end of today's video. I hope that you have learned something from it. And if you stayed till the end, I really appreciate your patience. If you have any other questions that you would like me to touch on, feel free to let me know and I will do my best. See you in the next video. Bye bye!